Germany is treating an incident involving an explosives-laden drone found at a cargo airport as a potential foreign threat. That's according to the Interior Minister. He also said authorities believe the device had been professionally prepared. While investigators work to uncover the device's origin, the debate over Germany's drone defences is already underway.
An incident which has prompted wider questions over Germany's national security. The drone found loaded with explosives at Leipzig Halle Airport on Wednesday morning is now being treated as a potential attack from overseas.
We are dealing with a contest here, which possibly also involves foreign powers. That will be part of the investigations. Actions clearly intended to cause significant uncertainty in Germany, not just at airports, but in other locations as well. Not only involving drones, but other measures too. And this is part of the hybrid threat landscape we are experiencing today.
The explosive device was found near the type of plane typically used to resupply the Ukrainian army. Authorities are also investigating a separate incident in which another plane collided with an unknown flying object nearby before landing safely. All flights to Leipzig Halle Airport were diverted for several hours from around midnight as police deployed a bomb disposal robot to deactivate the device on the tarmac. Leipzig Airport itself is a sensitive site. The European base of Ukrainian Antonov jets and also used by NATO and the German military, as well as being a DHL hub. The incident has prompted discussion around Germany's air defence and handling of such incidents. According to the Federal Aviation Association, the 8 largest German airports are currently being equipped, quote, at the speed of light, with the latest drone defence technology.
We cannot rule out the possibility that there may be similar attempts in the future involving hybrid operations and hybrid attacks. They can occur in a wide variety of places. We must prepare ourselves for this.
Russia is yet to respond to Ukrainian accusations that it was behind the attempted attack.
And I asked the security analyst Nico Lange what kind of damage a drone packed with explosives could do to a parked aircraft.
Well, 800 grams of Semtex is very, very serious. If you imagine that 400 grams of Semtex were enough to produce the Lockerbie catastrophe, then you get an imagination. And we are talking about an airport here with big freighter planes, with air fuel, and with planes that are transporting ammunition and military goods. So Leipzig and Germany just nearly avoided a catastrophe.
Now, Semtex is not for amateurs, is it?
No, this is not a hobbyist project. This is a military-grade explosive on a very specialized drone with additional batteries. Very likely another drone high up in the air observing and filming what is going on. So this is like a drone operation that we know from the Russia-Ukraine war. Very sophisticated, very serious, and extremely dangerous. And to be honest, this was not a result of German defenses that the attack was not successful. It was just a lucky accident.
Now, we come to the defences in a moment, but first, the Interior Minister indicated a state actor behind the attack, but he was careful not to mention any specific state. What's your comment?
I think Minister Dobrindt went as far as a member of the government can go in his press conference, but it's clear that by state actor, he did not make any random actor, and it's also clear that nobody is guessing who that might be. This fits into the pattern of Russian hybrid operations in Germany and within Europe in general. And clearly, Russia is the main suspect here.
Now, apparently Leipzig Airport has a drone protection system, but the sensors apparently failed to pick up the attack. Why is that?
We do not have the sensor networks and the sensor arrays that we need to detect all types of drones, especially low-flying, slow drones. We do not have the radars and the sensor networks that would be needed for that. Yes, there are drone defenses at Leipzig Airport. I think it's also clear that it's not public what kind of drone defenses there are. That's the same for other airports in Germany. But at the same time, Germany reacted to drone incidents in a typical German manner, creating new commissions, new bureaucratic institutions, but not implementing the practical steps needed with all the sensors and the sensor arrays. If you compare it to Ukraine, where you have electrical optical sensors, acoustic sensor arrays, Germany is behind on this.
Well, it's dangerous for Germany to be behind on this because there are additional reports of Russian drone strikes on a German ship in the Black Sea and on a German company's warehouse in Ukraine. Is Germany increasingly in Moscow's crosshairs currently?
I think Germany has always been a main target for Russian influence operations and also for Russian hybrid warfare. Russia believes that Germany is key to European decision-making. Germany is now the leader when it comes to support for Ukraine. And there are elections coming up in Germany that have a specific angle with pro-Kremlin parties playing an important role. So yes, Germany is one of the main targets for Russian hybrid operations and influence operations. But this is no news. I mean, everybody has been knowing this. Also, if you read the annual reports of the German intelligence services, also, the government has been knowing this, so it's a bit puzzling why, on the one hand, everybody knows that Germany is a main target for Russian hybrid operations, and on the other hand, preparations have not been good enough.
Nico Lange, the founder and director of the IRIS Institute for Risk Analysis and International Security. Thank you very much, Nico.
Thank you for having me.
Well, joining me now is Verena Jackson. She's an attorney and legal advisor at the Center for Intelligence and Security Studies at the University of the Bundeswehr in Munich. Her work focuses on hybrid warfare and includes Germany's legal framework for drone defense. Ms. Jackson, it's good to have you with us. It appears that this is a case in which Germany maybe got lucky. How serious could this have been if the explosives had detonated?
Correct. We got lucky this time. We have to keep in mind that this time the drone with the explosive was found near a cargo plane or in the area where cargo planes are. It was not in a passenger area and it was in the night. So it could be estimated that it was not intended to hit a passenger plane or cause any great danger to human lives, but more to say as a maybe a warning for us what is possible in the future, and to here, as we see in the pictures as well, deliberately hit an Ukrainian plane of Antonov Airlines.
I mean, did this, the discovery of this, is it succeeding in exposing Germany's vulnerabilities?
Yes, definitely. We've seen quite a lot of drone sightings in the last year and even more in the first 6 months of this year. 166 is the number that is official just in the last 6 months. What we see now is, as we've seen before by Minister Dobrindt, a new quality. And it's actually telling us that we are, yes, I wouldn't say maybe under attack, that might be a bit too harsh, but we are living in a new state of threat. And here we have a lot to do in the future to keep our planes safe, to keep other critical infrastructure safe. And we are still actually in the beginning of doing that.
Investigators have not identified the perpetrators. What can we responsibly conclude at this stage?
Well, actually, at the moment, it's just speculations. If you look at the geopolitical landscape that we are in now, if you look at incidents that we had in Germany and other European countries with Russian spies or people who were allegedly spying for Russia or preparing sabotage acts for Russia, we can speculate that Russia is behind the attacks. But as I said, it's just speculation at this moment. And we have to focus not only on the country where it might come from, that is responsibility, that is certainly important to figure out, and then to politically and even judicially address, but we have to focus that we are in a, I would say, new era of threats, no matter where those threats come from, as the origin, the state, but it's a new era of threats in a hybrid landscape. And we have to focus on preparing, actually defending us against any actor who's using those tools against us.
Does the level of planning here that investigators are looking at now with this drone, does it suggest support from another country or intelligence service? What's your opinion?
Yes, if you look at the drone, what we know so far is that it's an off-the-shelf drone, a drone that you could buy anywhere, but how they manipulated it and the explosive that was used with it, the Semtex explosive, it is not something that you can buy at every corner store or a hardware store. So it suggests that at least it was a high sophistication behind it. That could be a terrorist attack, it could be a state-sponsored terrorist attack or a state attack. Those are the possibilities. If you look at the explosive, for example, there was the same explosive that was used in 1988 in the Lockerbie bombing over Scotland. So this has been used for terrorist attacks in the past. At the moment, everyone is just speculating. We don't know where it comes from, but we know that it's a high threat to our, actually our safety.
And I know that people will be asking, how did a drone carrying explosives reach one of Germany's most strategically important airports?
Correct, yes. I'm certain here that we can say detection failed. If you look at how it was discovered and even actually brought to the ground by a person, a civil person who was there with, what we know so far, a group of plane spotters, people who go and take pictures of planes and look at planes. So it was actually just a coincidence that the drone was detected. And it was even more a coincidence and luck that the person who brought this drone to the ground didn't get hurt, because this explosive might have as well exploded. Luckily, it didn't. So a lot in this incident shows us that we were really lucky, and we had actually just benefited from luck in this incident. And this is something in the future that shows how vulnerable we are, how vulnerable our airports are, our critical infrastructure, we as a society. And drones are a new threat to us that we cannot handle with what we have so far against, for example, other threats from the past. This is a new quality, yes, but it's also a new technology for us, not just a quality.
You know, this is the second time in just over 2 years that Germany's Leipzig Airport has narrowly avoided a potential disaster. I mean, should this airport have been protected as a potential wartime target?
You can say, actually, it's a wartime target. You can say it like that. As far as we know, the correct and high sophisticated technology for drone detection was supposed to be there by the end of the year. Other German airports already have those, but every German airport is stacking up in drone detection and counter drones right now. But what we have to keep in mind, that Antonov, for example, is the airline that was targeted here, is a Ukrainian airline. It's a Ukrainian cargo hub, so to say. And we've seen it in the past, and we see it again, that Halle Leipzig is one of the easiest and most prominent targets of those attacks. But as I say, it's critical infrastructure everywhere that's a potential target.
Verena Jackson, we appreciate your time and your valuable analysis on this tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.